Now, the Ituri region in the Democratic Republic of Congo has had a series of conflicts dating back decades. Recently, conflict largely between militias and animal herders and farmers had again flared up. VOA senior analyst Jeffrey Young discusses the situation with two relief NGOs working in the troubled region of Ituri.
The Democratic Republic of Congo's restless northeast Ituri region has since December erupted once again in major ethnic violence, and as a result, people are fleeing. The long-standing conflict pits the militias of the livestock-herding Himas against fighters for the farming Lendus. Each wants to control the land for their own way of life. Caught in the middle are hundreds of thousands of civilians, including a large number of children, as described via Skype by UNICEF DRC Director Yves Villemont.
So our estimates is that we have 110,000 people that are internally displaced within the province of Ituri, people that have fled from their communities and villages following the violence that their communities and villages have been facing.
Villemont says more than 66,000 children are part of that huge number. Says that some people have moved to Ituri's capital, Bunia, while others have fled to Uganda. The impact of this renewed conflict on people in Ituri is described via Skype from Goma by relief NGO Solidarity's International DRC Country Director Javier Loth.
From what we know, and we have not been able so far to access to all places of the big territory of Ituri. From what we know and what we have been able to access and to assess, the situation is dire for the people who have been displaced. We are talking about people indeed without shelter, people with no access to food, with no access to basic non-food items.
UNICEF's Villemont says that this inter-ethnic conflict has destroyed clinics and access to health services, and schools have also been impacted in several ways.
Education is being put under pressure in the sense that schools are being burned down and attacked, but also because schools are being used as places for displaced people to stay.
The DRC government and the UN force MONUSCO are working to stop the violence and enable relief to get to those impacted. But as Solidarity's Loth points out, the country is currently facing multiple insurgencies, especially one in the southeast Kivu region, taxing the ability for it and others to effectively respond in Ituri.
When one province such as Ituri is currently, I would say, on fire and with bigger humanitarian needs, it's also a question of capacity to deploy, capacity to get more resources to respond to another province, to another issue, to another crisis. And of course, there is no one actor that can respond to all of that alone.
These NGO officials and others say the only effective solution for DRC's conflicts is a combination of robust international assistance to keep the peace, along with an infusion of development to turn warring factions into stakeholders who then have a reason not to kill and destroy. Jeffrey Young, VOA News, Washington.
Well, in West Africa, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari is ordering his security agencies to make every effort to rescue 110 schoolgirls who were abducted by suspected Boko Haram militants. Meanwhile, Nigeria's army and police have publicly disagreed over the security arrangements that were in place in the northeastern town when the attack happened. The army issued a statement on Monday saying its soldiers were withdrawn from Dapchi in Yobe State before the girls were seized from their school by armed insurgents on February the 19th. Sumonu Abdul Malik, Yobe State Police Commissioner, later issued a statement saying the claim of a handover was untrue, unfounded and misleading. The attack was one of the largest abductions since the Chibok kidnappings in 2014.